Today is the 27th of July 2023, and we've been doing algebraic expressions, and this will be our fourth lesson in algebraic expressions. Okay, I think at the moment we are saying it's simple because we are still doing some fundamental stuff. Okay, but very soon I'm going to take the simple off. Okay, I want to quickly say this up front before I start. Assuming there are some of the videos, maybe this is 8a, and then I end up saying 8 or A. Okay, if you get that and accidentally say 8, please, what I'm pointing to is what I want to say. For instance, this is a B, but assuming I say 6, okay, it's not 6, it's a B. So this is what I want to say. Okay, also in the percentage clips, not a few, because I really take time to rewatch what I have done, and these are my notes. I go through them over and over again to make sure that everything I've done is right. So in some of the percentage questions, maybe I wanted to say 10 pounds and I say 10%, or I wanted to say 10% and I say 10 pounds. At that minute, what my pen is pointing to is what actually you should go by. Okay, thank you very much for everyone who has been watching our videos. Okay, if it's helping you, like them, share it, give us some nice comments so that we know that it's helping you. Okay, it's a journey I'm taking you on, so gradually we are going to enter some hard and difficult questions, which will be for the higher level paper. But if you are working on a foundation level and you want to stick around and watch, that's also fine, because the fact that you are working on the foundation level and you're expecting a C doesn't mean that you can't change it. You can change it. You can go back to your school or wherever you are learning and say that, look, I've learned a lot of maths and I want to do a higher paper. And I promise you, if you stick with the videos I'm putting out there, you should be able to make a B or a B plus or maybe an A. You can. Okay. So after saying all that, I'm going to recap what we've learned so far. Okay, so I'm going to start with a recap. So in adding, we saw that this is our first example. We saw that 2a add 6a is 8a. That is straightforward. We did it in our first lesson. So I said like 2 apples add 6 apples. It's always be an apple. They are like variables. Okay. Now B, 7b add 2c, add b, add 4c. So we bring So here we will bring the B's together and the C's together. Okay, so 7B add 2C and B. So 7B add B will be 8B. B add 2C add 4C will be 6C. So here what we can do is 2 is a common factor, so we can bring 2 out. Okay, and then we have 4B add 3C. Okay, by introducing the brackets, that when we multiply back, we go back to this point. 3x add 7y add 8x add 10y. So 3x add 8x will be 11x. 7y add 10y will be 17y. Here there are no common factors, so this is how we leave our answer. We are adding, so we don't bring them together. Okay, so we have x and y. Okay, now in subtracting, our first example, 6a minus 2a. So it's like we have 6 apples and we've eaten 2 apples. So now we have 4 apples. Okay, we have 4 apples there. Our second example, 7b minus 2c minus b add 4c. So if we put the p's together, 7b minus b will give us 6b. Minus 2c minus 4c will give us minus 6c. Okay. Okay, so it gives us minus 6c. Now we can introduce a bracket here. So 6 is common. So we'll have 6b minus 6c. So 6b minus c. Now 7b minus 2c minus b add 4c. So 7b minus b will be 6b. Minus 2c add 4c will be 2c, because this is the same as 4c minus 2c. Okay, 4 is bigger than minus 2c. So here we have 2c. So here too, we can bring 2 out. Okay, so we have 3b plus c. So when we multiply back, we are going to get 6b plus 2c. Okay, if you look at this one, there is a plus here. This is a minus. So same question, look at the different answers we've got. Okay, question 4, I thought I'll throw in the last one here. So this is like minus 1, minus 2. We've discussed something like this in one of the videos where I said you are in overdraft of £10 and then you went for more money, but you didn't pay the overdraft, so it becomes minus minus. So this is minus 1x, which we don't normally write, so you have minus 3x. Okay. And we also said that the symbol affects the number is in front of. Okay, so for instance, this is a +7, that is a plus 4c, but this minus affects the b, that minus affects the 2c. Okay, so here you have 7b minus 2c minus b, add 4c, and your answer is 2 into bracket 3 plus 3b plus 4c. Okay, and another one here too, you have 7b minus 2c minus b minus 4c. Okay, the difference is just the symbol here, and your answer is 6b minus 6c, which is 6b minus 6c. Okay, so as I explain this, I have this example: minus 40 minus 160 is minus 200 pounds. So 200. So assuming it was in your account, you are in the red 40 pounds. Okay, and then you go for another 160 pounds. Now you owe 200 pounds overdraft. Okay, so that is it. Now multiplying. Yesterday, 3 days ago, we saw that a times a 2a, or a times a is a squared. So here a times 2a will give us 2 because it's 1 times 2, so 2a squared, not 3. 2a squared. Okay, because we are multiplying, we are not adding. Okay, 2 7x3 y squared times x times y3. So 7x3 times y squared times x times y3. So we put the x's together. So 7x3 times x will be 7x4. y2 times y3, all these powers, okay, will be y to the power 5. So if we multiply them together, if you are multiplying, it's allowed. So 7x to the power 4, y to the power 5, or 7y to the power 5, x to the power 4. Okay, whichever way you put them is right, as long as the powers are on the right variable. Okay, the x4 is x4 here, y5 is still y5 here. Okay, so you can swap them, it's fine. Don't swap the powers though. Make sure your s4 is s4, y5 is y5. Okay, here is like 6 times 5 equals 5 times 6. Okay, now another example on multiplication. So we have 6a3 times 2a times 3c. Okay, so let's multiply the numbers first. 6 times 2 is 12, times 3 is 36. Okay, now we have AC, the powers of 1 each. So we have A and C. But here we have A3. So A3 times A will be A4. So A4C. So here too, you can write this. The answer can be 36 A4C or 36 C A4. Okay. Now let's look at divide. The first one is 2A divided by A. So 2A divided by A, the A can cancel out. So our answer becomes 2. That's very straightforward. Okay. A divided by A is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Okay. Now, question 2. 60R3Q7 divided by 3RQ3. So I've written it in this form. 60 divided by 3 is 20. R3, so 3 of R's divided by R. So we are going to cancel the like terms. Okay. So if I cancel this out of this, I'm left with 2 R's. Now Q, 7 of them, and Q, 3 of them. So I can take 3 of this out of the 1F7 in the numerator. So I'll be left with Q4. So my answer will be 20 R to the power 2, Q to the power 4. Or we can decide to write it as 20 Q to the power 4, R to the power 2. Now question 3. 27 x3 y7 divided by 9 x5 y3. Okay, so 27 y3 y7 divided by 9 x5 y3. Okay, so 27 divided by 9 gives us 3. Now x3 x5. So now we can cancel out, but our s will have s2 as the denominator. Okay, so now if you want to bring it to the numerator, we have x minus 2. We saw this yesterday. Now y7 y3. If we cancel this also out, our numerator becomes y4. So that's y4. So our answer will be 3x minus 2 y minus 4. Or we can decide to say 3 y minus 4 x minus 2. Okay. Or if you are struggling at this moment with x minus 2, you can write your answer as 3 y minus 4 x 2. This way. Okay. You can also write this. This is also right. But because y and x are unlike terms, we can't cancel them. We can only cancel y's and x's when we are dividing. Okay. So that is our recap with the division we've been doing so far. I want to give you some rules to add to your flashcards. Okay, we did a lesson on flashcards yesterday. So I'll quickly go through some rules with you Okay, so the first one is when you are multiplying x to the power a times x to the power b, you add the powers. So here you add a and b. So that is why the examples that we've been doing, we have x to the power 6 times x to the power 2. We add them, that is a multiplying. So we now have x to the power 8. The same way, y to the power 15, y to the power 4. We add the 15 and the 4 if we are multiplying, not adding, and get y to the power 19. Okay. Our second rule, it concerns dividing. So x to the power a divided by x to the power b. Okay, this, as long as you have the same like terms in with the powers, you can always bring this as x a minus b. But if they are not both x's, then you can't do that. Okay, so for instance, our first example, x to the power 7 divided by x to the power 2. So x to the power 7 minus 2, which is 5, which I've just recap on. x15 divided by x7 will be x15 minus 7, which is x to the power 8. Okay. Now our third one, we saw this at the powers of 10, where I said 10 to the power 0 is 1. So if you have y to the power 0 is 1, a to the power 0 is 1, q to the power 0 is 1. Any number to the power 0 is 1. It's a mathematical rule. So add this also, okay, to your flashcard. So add this, and that to your flashcard. Okay. So the examples I have here is x to the power 0, 1, y to the power 0 is 1, 2 to the power 0 is 1. Okay. These ones, you can't forget this. Any number to the power 0 is 1. Now question 4, rule 4. Assuming you have x to the power a all into bracket b. Okay. So what it means here is x to the power a times b. This is also a rule. I'll give you an example here. So x to the power 3, okay, into bracket 2. So you just multiply this 3 and 2 to give you x to the power 6. But I went further to break it down. So for instance, assuming x to the power 3, what it means is x to the power 3 squared. So that is x to the power 3 times x to the power 3. Okay, twice. But if you use this rule that I've just shown you, it means x to the power 3 add 3. That is if you go back and use this rule here. This rule here, the first one. Okay, I'm going to assume that you are going to put them on your flashcard. Okay, and look at them till you've learned them. So here you go, x to the power 3 times x to the power 3. So 3 add 3 is 6. So if you know this rule, you can use it straight away to get your 6. But if you don't know this rule too, you can break it down this way. So if you have x to the power 3 into bracket 3, instead of multiplying 3 by 3, you write it 3 times and add the powers, and you still get the answer. It's just that knowing this makes it easier. But with time, as you solve algebra questions, you will get used to this. Okay, this is a bit of higher stuff for the people in the high set. But as I've just challenged you, you can also learn it and do it. Okay. 5, x to the power minus a, okay, is the same as 1 over x to the power a, as we did in one of the examples. So x to the power minus 10, you can write it as x to the power 10. Okay. 1 over x is x minus 1. We've done a few of these. 1 over x squared is equal to x minus 2, as I showed you in the recap. So 1 over s cubed equals x minus 3. Okay. There are some times you might have questions that you might have to use this or transform from this to this and back to make it easier. Okay, when we get there, I'll show you, but put this on your flashcard. Okay, now x to the power minus 5 is equal to 1 over x to the power minus 5. Okay, these are the examples. A over 1 over a equals a minus 1. So a 1 over a to the power 10 will be equal to a minus 10. Okay, now the 6th rule is a bit complex, but I will explain to you with time. Okay, but write it on your flashcard and put it on your on the side. The chances are the people who are working on higher sets in year 10 will know this. Okay, but if you are not yet there yet, just write it on the side, and when we get, I'll show you. So x to the power m over n. Okay, m over n here is like a fraction, like 2 over 3. Okay, or 3 over 2. This means x to the power m square root n. Okay, so for instance, if you have x to the power 3 over 2, this is a fraction. So the square root, inside your square root, you have x to the power 3 and the square root 2. Okay, this is square root, not a cube root. Normally for square roots, we don't write the 2, but I'm just writing it to show you where the 2 will go. That is the meaning of this. Okay, so put it on the side. If you've not in that level yet, put it on the side. When we get there and I'm using it, I will bring this back and we'll use it to solve multiple questions and you understand. Okay. 7, x on its own can also be written as the square root of x to the power n. Okay, and then the square root n. So x on its own you can write it as the square root x squared square root. Okay, this is what I've just said. So x on its own, okay, you can write it as the square root x squared, which will give you x. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, here too, at times the x will be on its own, but you have to manipulate the equation, so you can write it in this form and quickly use it to solve the equation you've been given, to simplify it, as I've done here. Okay, so x will be the same as x squared, the square root. So the square root of x squared is x. Okay, now the last one which I want you to put on your flashcard is x equals to, into brackets, n square root of x, all into bracket x. Okay, so you can write x as this or s as that. In maths, we do a lot of manipulations to get to our answer. Okay, so you can write s as this, write this on your flashcard, and write this on your flashcard. So I'm going to quickly show you the things I need you to write on your flashcard. Okay, so the first one is this, which is straightforward. Okay, that's the first one, this one here. Okay, if you are watching the video, you can pause it. The second one is this. The third one is this. The fourth one today is this. The fifth one is this. The sixth one is this one. So from the sixth one, the seventh one is this, and the eighth one is this. So the 6, the 7, and the 8, we are not going to use it yet, but write it on your flashcard and keep on having a look. Okay, when we are ready to use it, I will let you know. Okay, everything we are learning is like watching a film. You watch a film the first time and it's like, I don't really get this. I don't even get the storyline. Okay, and then you watch it again. By the time you've watched it for 5 times, you can easily start saying some of the lines. Okay, so maths is also like that. Today I've introduced another set of things to you in algebra, and I've done the recap. You might not understand it fully, but I can assure you, if you go back and watch it, make notes, read your notes, come back and watch it, very soon you'll become a pro. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. I'm mindful of the time, and I'll see you in our next lesson.